Really, at this point, all you can say for episodes like these with Dr. Stone is this can't keep happening, and honestly, my emotions are rattled. Because what I mean is, between the almost total defeat that pretty much sealed everyone's fate, and had it not been for a very smart captain and a very smart scientist, I mean, that would have been game over. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, they would have been exposed, Maz would be exposed, and everything would be screwed. But the idea of the almost rise and fall, the back and forth, muscleheads versus educators, like it's just, I love the fact that Dr. Stone is so good at whiplash, whether that's a father and son reuniting, having no chance at actually seeing each other face to face, but that emotional reunion from memories to just feeling like the presence is there, to the absolute savagery that is characters like Ibara, who is probably my favorite Dr. Stone antagonist that we've had up to this point. Pure menacing, pure absolute terror, but at the same time pretty tactical in his own kind of interesting way. But I think the thing about this is that even characters who are as much of a musclehead as someone like Magma is, you know, at the end of the day, we charged onto that boat and you can't really activate the beam on the boat because everyone would be screwed, so I guess round 2 might go a little better, but at the same time, this is Dr. Stone and it is gonna get rough before it absolutely gets better. Full live reaction, episode 16 of this Dr. Stone greatness over on my Patreon. If you would like to see that, it's over there if you're interested. Now, there's actually a lot to dive into. I figured this would be a very action-packed episode, and while there definitely was a little bit of that, the big star attractions were actually some of the dialogue-focused scenes. And we start this episode off, and they pretty much immediately take the fight to the enemy. And, I mean, characters thinking that, you know, Maz is so-and-so, and like, just them absolutely crushing them. Senku using reflections as like a distraction. Everything was going according to plan. But I think the thing about a character like Ibara is that you could very easily make a character like that intimidating at face value, but the actions don't really back it up. Sure, if you see this mofo behind you in the dark alley, you're gonna be screaming like you're in a horror flick. But it's very easy for authors and anime to pretty much write these characters as they're intimidating because of their physical design, but not so because they're actually clever. But this man's clever. He smashed the statue so that, just in case, you know what, worst comes to worst, I need another statue. I pay someone to do it and I kill them when they're done. So therefore, we still have the statue if we need it. But most importantly, you don't want the enemy who, if you plan to kind of get off the island and use the ship, you don't want them being able to go into your little city and take whatever they need. But the thing about him is that he notices things that a lot of characters put in his position don't. And it's not like he immediately just figures it out. He doesn't just say, ooh, Maz is wearing an earring, therefore he has some magical way of listening to people. No, but he noticed, this man never wears this, why is he wearing it? And then when he naturally sees the same thing on Koku, he pretty much, you know, naturally tries it and then clues into what's happening. And the idea of making it so that when she fires the item, right, in order to launch the blast, the plan was that the drone would capture it and then we'd get the hell out of Dodge sort of a thing, or use it or do whatever we need to in order to get the W. And what ends up happening is, because if Maz is actually a traitor, which of course Ibara knows, she is suspicious and doesn't want to believe it, but obviously chain of command reigns superior. I love the idea that basically we throw a fake first, so if they do anything, whether they try to grab it, they try to betray us, if Maz tries to stop it or they don't act like it's really the real thing, then therefore they know there's a traitor amok. And the idea of the first one figuring it out is of course our boy who is piloting the drone. I thought the drone broke at first. Really clever, Senku using his calculations and just each of them figuring out, we have to run, we have to retreat, because if they do that, they're treating it as, okay, they know they're gonna get petrified, and therefore Maz can't be a traitor here. It's just a really clever way to de-escalate and give an almost total defeat moment, but then transition into something even more interesting, because had we just continued the fight on the cliffside, yeah, characters might be dangling off the cliff, there's some rocky ways that it could get intense, but the idea of basically having to retreat in this way, and then seeing the boat that we spent so much time building, seeing them actually make it work out. Now, they don't know all the fundamentals of it, but it is sailing at the end of the day. Taking every single person on the island, putting them on the boat, lets them, it doesn't matter where they're hiding. It doesn't matter if we know the precise location. They can just cover the entire damn island and freeze everyone to stone. But what's cool about this is that while a character like Ibara is clever, at the same time, as we see by the end with Magma kind of going loose and being a bit of a bull in a china shop, he may be a little bit of an idiot, and I'm just trying to be nice about him because he is kind of a lot of an idiot, because we saw that the character who is professional and knows how to shoot a gun had trouble aiming that thing, and this boy thought he could be a wild hunter and go get the legendary boar or something like that. But I do like the fact that because of all this chaos and the fact that he's scaring them shitless by shooting near them, we all got on the boat. Now, Ibara could jump off the boat and say, freeze everyone here, I'll figure something out. But at the end of the day, there's no running anymore, and if there is, it's a lot more difficult than where it's at. So this feels like the final showdown. Now, the final showdown could last quite a bit. We do have many episodes left in the season, but at the same time, taking the fight from the island to the boat, it pushes everyone in one location, and it's a really compelling fight. Yeah, we have a limited number of bullets, and yes, we have a pretty good fighting force, but at the same time, we need to expose. And I think this is where the emotional side comes into play, because putting together statues that are broken apart, we have characters who literally are Sonic the Hedgehog doing it. But something that's been so destroyed, discolored, it's a lot more difficult. And I think it's so interesting looking at a character who has been a part of Dr. Stone since the beginning, but we never really noticed him until later into this series. The fact that his memory just coming back to him in the baby way, holding the broken arm, right? And then having it connect to the spirit of the father and being like this, we have a character who knows what he looks like now, so it's a little easier. And it doesn't have to be perfect, especially because we're not trying to revive him anymore. We know that he can't be revived. I wasn't sure last week because, like I said, there was a hole in his eye, but people can live without having an eyeball, but it seems like no, this is 100% game over. But the idea of the reunion and funeral all mixed into one to then give them that hope, because they're probably going to be fighting for their life. There's going to be a lot of chaos, and when things are probably really hitting the fan, they're going to be carrying their real master, and then mutiny is going to happen, and who knows what's going to occur with Ibara, because Ibara, if he's going down, he's going to take everyone down with him, right? I mean, he'll petrify everyone if that's what it takes, and I don't know what they're going to do, but it's pretty exciting. Like, Dr. Stone has been on an absolute roll since Core 2 has popped up for this season. I'd say at this point, both in terms of production and excitement, this actually trumps the first half of Season 3 for me. I think New World is doing everything right. I think it's exciting with its action. I think it's thought-provoking with its technology and the way we go about building certain things. And the fact that it's not just simply like, ooh, we have a gut feeling. Like, a character like Senku is not going to rely on a gut feeling. He's going to use his science in order to back that up. But a character who, a captain is going to go on gut feelings. That makes a lot of sense. And I love the idea how every character somehow finds a way to be useful. Even a character like Magma. He was an idiot. He stole the gun because he wanted to be the big game hunter. But at the same time, even he found a way to give them an opportunity to get on the bow throughout his stupidity. And that's the brilliance of everything here. It's a group effort. And when someone crashes and burns or causes a ruckus, the others are there to help pick up the pieces, seen by Senku sweating nervously, being like, God damn it, that's my Magma for us. But you know what? We gotta help him out. And this is the hand we've been dealt. When life gives you lemons, as shitty as they may be, you gotta make that lemonade. And that's exactly what Senku and the team does in Dr. Stone. But thoughts, feelings yourself down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. Like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon if you're interested. Hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout out. So today we have Sev Barton, Hellstrom, Futurist177, Sotomore, Juan Carlos, and Duck Nugan. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.